factors of light and just having this like internal desire to understand light and be really attracted to it and understand its purpose in my life. I feel like it's really important to tell you that I wrote this down. Our potential on this sphere, in my opinion, is to receive as much light as possible. So any strategy, any philosophy, when we talk about nutrition, when we talk about minerals, when we're talking about spirit, when we're talking about God, like anything that we're talking about on those wavelengths, I feel like we have so much capacity to receive as much light as possible. And as I have worked with multiple people over 10 years, I started focusing with personal training and working with people just on the physical plane. So I would program, I would train them, and I could see that there was more information coming at me that would help this person than just thinking and looking only in the sphere of physical systems. So I began to understand its correlations through the metaphysical system. And how does this relate to my client's ability to release weight? Why is the body presenting extra fat energy? What is the body's job? The body's job is to protect you. The body's job is to keep you safe. Your blood has to be maintained at 7.35 or 7.45 or we go in a coma or we die. So another awesome 7 number for you, because we've had lots of fun 7s showing here. And so I just began to understand that there was a lot more information that was available to help us individually. And as I've integrated other strategies into my coaching experiences, light was one that really resonated for me. Because in my opinion, as we go on our journey for healing and wholeness, light is a part of that process. And there's so much power in our individual processes to receive as much light as possible. When I first did the light bed, I did settings C and D with Marta. And setting A just really resonates with me. I'm a body learner, I'm very kinetic, and I remember doing setting A and then going and hitting my workout, and I just felt like, oh my gosh, I felt like this instant invigoration. And I just remember connecting so deeply between my workout and having the lights and the blood flow was open. I had different power behind my movements. My core reacted a little bit differently, and I really practiced in getting the communication from my body. So it was this like amazing experience for me. It was very awesome, just to put it plainly. And then as I continued to use the lights over the last year, I noticed this different synchronization happening for me. I noticed that I was more aware of things in my surroundings. I noticed I could hear the frequencies. I'm sure that's happened for some of you. As you synchronize differently with different frequencies, I noticed that the flow of ideas was so much easier for me. I noticed that the combustion of collaborating and manifesting things was easier. There was a flow to it that I didn't necessarily connect with before, and then I was connecting with it now. I noticed that if I go up Big Cottonwood Canyon, I had this crazy experience with the rocks, and all of a sudden I was kind of understanding the frequency of the minerals that are in that canyon. And I was just becoming more and more aware. My sphere and my energy fields were just interacting with different surroundings a little bit differently, and I just noticed all of these things, and I felt like all of that was working for my good. All of that was for my benefit. So I just kind of wanted to share that little background with you, that this is my own personal experience with the lights and how I love putting them on my children. I have 3 boys. I have a 9-year-old, and then I have twins that are 7. And they are crazy. They're also very kinetic and very monkey-like, and so it's fun to put them on setting B and have a little connection time with them and have that calming energy come in, and I'll rub their feet and I'll talk to them, and it's actually really tender for me to have that experience with them, and I can talk to them about light. And it's symbolic. When we we can have conversations about truth and light and how I get to raise my children in truth and light. So it's just thematically throughout my whole life, it just resonates with me so loudly. And I feel like I also keep looking and seeking for strategies and philosophies that are simple, that work with the body's intelligence already, that don't require a whole bunch of pharmaceutical, crazy, take this, take that, let's change this system, let's change that system. And so as I learn more and more from Marta, as I'm here, like hearing the information over and over and over again, new themes kind of stick out to me, new understanding. When I work with sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium with my clients, I just noticed that those are kind of communicators of light. So your whole nervous system requires a sodium and potassium exchange all the time, and light is a great communicator. So I just started noticing these correlations between my clients receiving optimal levels of sodium and potassium, and then the lights and how their body was responding, how their nervous system was responding, so it's just a fit for me in offering a modality that is simple, that brings simple, yields simple results, and works with the body's intelligence. Our bodies are already programmed to receive light. I'm sure Marta's talked about the biomirrors in the cell and all of those cellular science words that we can use, but the body's programmed to receive light. So as I've worked with clients with rate release, there's been a couple of different things that I've tried, as I'm always seeking to understand how to work with the one. So when my clients come to me, I might do things different for each client because they're very individual. Where the body stores fat energy is individual. Your body type, the type of muscles you have on your body, is individual. And so there's this blueprint that we want to create for the person individually. So there's a couple examples. I had a client who, she was a very warrior energy. She owns the all-women football team here in Utah. So she's like diehard. She's a go-getter. And I noticed for her this correlation between her adrenal glands, and that the best thing that I could do to support her, even though her overall goal was to release weight, was to actually not start with an exercise program. That would be the worst thing that I could do for her, because her body was already in a pattern of stress so high that if I added another pattern of stress, I would have not been able to yield results for her. So we started with just adrenal support, just lights, and just nutrition. And in 30 days, she released 10 inches and 1% body fat, just from those strategies. So that gave me a lot of awesome information. And then at day 30, then we could add the exercise program into it, because her body was no longer operating in a perpetual stress cycle. And it was in a healing pattern. And the healing environment was something that was totally foreign to her at that time in her life. Her adrenal glands were so incredibly stressed that the first thing we needed to do was allow that system to turn off, let her thyroid come back to regular function, let the adrenal glands only turn on when they need to help save her life like they're supposed to. And so I noticed as we did the lights twice a day, as we supported the body with its own minerals and intelligence with nutrition, the body responded in a very powerful way. So for me, this was such powerful information coming in. And then there's been a couple other clients that I've taken that strategy, that approach, that was something that their body required first in order to allow their body to even get to a place to release. Because anytime I see a fat energy or an excess amount of fat energy, I see a body doing a really good job protecting itself. Because that's its job, to keep you safe, to keep your heart rate going. So the body gets rid of acid through sweat, urine, and bowel movements. So if we're not sweating every day, if we're not having regular bowel movements, if we're not going to the bathroom enough, the body has to do something with that excess acid, or we will go in a coma or we'll die. It will rob calcium from your bones. It's a very alkalizing agent if it needs to keep your blood safe. So I just noticed that when we were able to help turn, when we were able to offer more alkalizing agents to just neutralize that acid, when we were able to allow the cortisol to turn off in the body, the light really helped those adrenal glands calm down in conjunction with the nutrition strategies that we would take. So for me, those are the things that I started to notice with my clients. And beyond that, there's like new opportunities, new things I'm learning every day with my clients and what the lights are allowing, what the lights are creating for that person. I wanted to tell you that as I have had my own synchronization increase, I feel like I'm able to hear that voice, that inner voice, a lot easier. And whenever I'm working with someone, I feel like they're on their own individual journey forever. So if I can help them begin to make connections to hear their own inner voice, hear their own communication coming in from their body, that's a really powerful skill set that will lead them through their entire life. It's not my job to just create an action plan for healing for you. It's your job to create your own healing action, your own healing journey, to take truth and light and decide what's best for you and your body and your journey. And really understanding that skill set that can come to you when you get the communication from your body. Because it might be different from my body. So something I've learned about my body, just to give you a practical application, is minerals are really important for my body. If my minerals drop down a little bit, I just notice changes in my energy, I notice changes in my operating systems, I notice changes in my thought patterns. So I just know, like, that is something that I really need to focus on. Some of my clients, potassium, if they ever have any sacral chakra, any female organ things, a lot of times we go to potassium and we want to look at the potassium levels. And so as you're here seeking light and truth, I just want to emphasize that with you, that it's really empowering for you to get the communication for your own body, really understand what's going to work best for you, and receive that and allow that truth to come in and continue to guide you, continue to be that knowing inside of you that's available for your own healing journey. For me, a lot of things are spiritual, so I hope it's okay to share this. But I feel like whenever I can read about any stories in the Bible, and I read about Jesus Christ, I just read that he always healed the one. He had interaction with the one. He never came to this mass amount of people or a big group of people and healed a whole bunch of people all at once. He always went to the one, and as we've talked about, he's the light of Christ is in and all through all things. So it's important, I think, for us to honor that journey with us and within us. And the other cycle that I see a lot, a pattern that I see a lot, is giving and receiving cycles. A body in a giving and receiving cycle operates in health. They're in balance. When we learn how to receive just as much as we give, we learn how to give just as much as we can receive, that creates a health pattern in our life. So the other thing I notice is a pattern of healing and wounds. Sometimes we have wounds that require healing, and on that journey creates a pattern of health. And there's power in that process. There's power in your wounds. There's power in that healing process. There's something really important about that process for us to get and grow from. So those are some of the patterns that I see in my dimension of the world, working in fitness and nutrition. And anytime people are coming to me with fitness and nutrition goals, there's just so many more things we can do to offer support, offer intelligence, offer breakthroughs. When my clients have a breakthrough in the body, they often have a breakthrough in their business. There's so many correlations between the body and business. When they have a breakthrough in relationships, a lot of times they have a breakthrough in the body because there's correlations in so many dimensions of our life. And so the lights have really been a strategy that has resonated with me. It's full of simple intelligence. It's simple for my clients to put the pads on their body, and it's simple for for them to have an experience, go into a healing state, which does so much for a person under a lot of stress. It does so much for a body who's trying to manage acid and stress responses so much. And so I love how simple it is for us to utilize this tool. We have lots of tools in our toolbox, and this tool really resonates for me in what I do. And I just loved all of the feedback that my clients give. And it's so interesting, like all of them have different feedback because they're their own unique blueprint. So I had one client just describe after her first session, I just feel like I weighed nothing. I feel like I don't weigh anything. And I just thought that was powerful language, that she could literally experience some lifting happening for her. That in that moment she could feel the burdens lighten and the energy wasn't weighing her down. And so even if it's a small opportunity for us to experience relief, I guess I relish that. I glory in that because those small and simple things are what yield great results. And so sometimes we think it's this great master crazy plan, but it's really the simple things that can really impact our lifestyle, our patterns, our behaviors. The other thing about light is frequency of words. So the tongue is very powerful, and for me, conscious language and upgrading my conversation is really exciting to me. And as I've used the lights, I just feel a different flow with my ideas and being able to verbalize them, being able to say them, being able to express myself. I used to hold a lot of tension in my jaw, so when we do the proprioception, that was called alignment setting, man, that made such a difference for me because I have constant ideas going, and I just want to vomit all of them on my husband, okay? And sometimes I like chew on them at night, and my jaw just is hilarious. And then there's calcium correlated to that because I'm a woman, and every time I have a monthly cycle, my body like absorbs all the calcium in my body. And so it was awesome to do the proprioception setting and feel relief for me personally, that there was a change that could happen. And it was something simple that I could do, working with my own intelligence, working with my own capacity to do something for myself. So that's the other thing I feel like it's really empowering is you're doing it for yourself. You're not asking a doctor to tell you what to do. You're allowing that healing environment to come in, and you are choosing that. And I just love that anytime we can enact that agency wavelength in our life is empowering. So is there anything that I can do to support any of you as I've shared that? I really love to have interaction as I am just sharing space with all of you. Is there any questions or anything that would be a benefit to you?
I'm just wondering, when you talk about like potassium and calcium and all those different things, do you try to get it through nutritional food, such as a certain food for certain things? Or do you go towards?
Great question. A lot of times when I'm working with a client and they have excess fat energy, the gut flora isn't able to actually assimilate all that the body is receiving. So dairy, for example, it creates a lot of mucus in the body, and mucus covers the microvilli inside of the intestines and makes it hard for the body to assimilate what you're eating. So my approach is definitely let's get as much as we can through food by taking out as much mucus as we can. But I see if a woman has ever had a baby, she's going to naturally already have low reservoirs of calcium and magnesium. And if we've ever interfaced with something traumatic, like my father died when I was 16, that was very traumatic for me. If they've interfaced with something like that, then their reservoirs naturally are pretty low. So I love for them to